Greetings YouTube, we've got 3 items of news and a little bit of info afterwards. First of all, CD Projekt Red, the developer of Cyberpunk, has been hit by a ransomware attack. After years of trying, WB Games has successfully patented its Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system, and later this week EA is going to decide if Anthem lives or dies. So firstly, the developer of Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red, they just can't seem to catch a break recently, can they? I mean, first of all, Cyberpunk's launch was rocky as hell, and even 1 or 2 of the updates seem to have fixed certain things and then broken other things in the process. It's not been brilliant. Then of course there's the legal action being launched against them by their own investors, no less. And now they've been hit by a hack attack, specifically a ransomware attack. The perpetrators of this, whoever they are, claim to have stolen source code for several of the firm's games, which they said they'd leak unless they made a payment, obviously. But CD Projekt Red is sticking to its guns and saying no thanks. In fact, not only have they said, no, we're not paying you, they've basically released all of the ransomers' documentation, all the stuff that they have. They've simply posted it online for all the world to see. And to be honest, yeah, I agree with a lot of other people when they say that more companies could probably do with doing this. After all, if you refuse to pay, and everybody refuses to pay, then eventually it gets harder for them. But if you pay them, it just makes them think, all right, we're on to a winner here, we can keep on doing this, you know, they're a soft mark, they'll do it, you know, we can attack them again and they'll pay us again because they did before. It's a really fucking stupid move. So one of the few things recently that CD Projekt Red have been praised for, and rightly so. I mean, they've been criticised to hell, and rightly so, about various things recently, but yeah, it's a nice direction that they're pointing in. A lot of people are hoping that other companies will take note and do the exact same thing as them in the future. Cyberpunk was originally scheduled to have some updates. We've had some updates in January, and they're also scheduled apparently for some major updates to the software in February, in this month. They've already said now that those might take a back seat for a while they deal with the ransomware attack. They have backups to everything, but obviously we don't know exactly at this point what has been taken by the hackers. They're saying, oh, we've got this and we've got that. We've got things from your IT and legal department and HR, and we're going to release it. And yeah, CD Projekt Red just isn't playing ball, so good. The second piece of news is not so good. After trying several times apparently since 2015 when they released Shadow of Mordor, WB Games has finally secured a patent on its very excellent, I have to admit, Nemesis system. The Nemesis system, in case you don't know, is basically the system where enemies would obviously attack you in the game en masse, and they'd have different little articles of clothing on them, but otherwise would just be generic background guys until they killed you, at which point they suddenly got promoted to captain, and then they suddenly started having a personality, and they'd even remember you when you fought them later on in the game. They'd remember that they killed you once before and they were gonna do it again, ha ha ha, and rub it in your face, and even reference how they killed you. It was a remarkable system, because it made you think that every single, even the generic background bad guys, even those guys were basically characters in waiting. It made the whole game feel a lot more alive than it otherwise would be. And I dare say that myself included, a lot of other people were probably hoping that this Nemesis system would be introduced into more games. Except that now WB has secured a patent on it. And the patent goes into effect on the 23rd of February 2021. Later this month. And from that point you will then have to let them know and ask their permission before you can use it, and you'll probably have to pay them a little cut of the money I'm guessing it'll be a cut of the profits. I don't know. Look, apparently this patent lasts until 2035 or some shit. I'm really pissed off. I mean, merely about the fact that they can do this, that someone allowed them to patent a game mechanic that was really cool and other developers could have used. I mean, I actually can't bring any other developers to mind that have actually used it. Are there any other developers that have used something like the Nemesis system? Let me know in the comments section, because I don't know any if they exist. But even so, it would have been nice for everyone else to have the option. Now it's a case of fuck you, give us money first. And thirdly, but not quite finally, EA is going to decide if Anthem lives or dies later on sometime this week. Anthem's still alive? I mean, this kind of suggests it is, but I'd stopped playing it ages ago, and the main reason that I kept on playing it for, I dare say, a lot longer than most, is because the combat was excellent. The combat is superb. The rest of the game fucking sucks. But that's what kept me playing for so long, and I stopped playing it bloody ages ago. I don't even know when I stopped playing it, to be honest. I thought this game was already dead, so this news item came as a bit of a surprise to me. A bit of a head scratcher is this. It must be on life support, surely. I mean, surely. Apparently they might be trying a No Man's Sky Next type reboot. Apparently there's 30 people on the Anthem team still working on the reboot, and they've allegedly already said that they need about 3 times that many people to actually make it happen. I don't think EA is going to do it. I mean, they could, I suppose, but generally speaking, corporate doesn't like to take risks. This is why most big, huge games from the AAA publishers tend to be kind of the same as each other, sort of, with not much innovation, or at least most of them. And then it tends to be the little indie developers, the little guys who only put a fraction of the effort, money and resources, they only have a fraction of the staff and everything, they can afford to be imaginative. And then they put out amazing games that takes everybody by surprise. And then the big corporate arseholes come along, buy them out, buy the staff out, redistribute them, shut down the studio, and that's another competitor gone, fuck you. You know, that's what normally happens. I just don't see, if EA decides that Anthem is going to be supported, I mean, what exactly are they planning to do with it? I mean, reboot the game, obviously, but how exactly are they going to market that to the rest of us? I mean, that's No Man's Sky managed it, sure, but I haven't been back on that since that game launched, No Man's Sky. I mean, I do video game reviews. I'm too busy to go back on it, but I just, after my initial contact with the game, I don't want to be bothered. And I'm not entirely sure that I'd go back on Anthem even if they did reboot it, you know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of people thinking like that, so yeah, maybe EA will do it, but I don't think they will. And one tiny little additional notification, something which I didn't actually know about until I read about it online. Apparently there's a free upgrade to the next gen version of the game for Nioh 2. Yes, this footage has been playing in the background of this video for a reason. The upgrade process is a little bit laboured for the PS5, but it's not hard. If you've already been through an upgrade process for these games, you already know how this works. You click on those little 3 dots, you select the edition you want. You want Nioh 2, and it's the, what is it? It's the upgrade that you want. You'll click along each one of them will be for free. If you have the disc-based version, you have to have the disc in the machine. Otherwise, it won't give you the free upgrade. And because it's an upgrade of the disc-based version, you need the disc in the machine to be able to play it, even though it's a digital version. So, by the way, when you fire this upgraded version up, I mean, Nioh and Nioh 2 already have brilliant graphics and run at 60 frames a second. The upgraded version for next gen, it can have it has the standard version, of the game, like always, but then there's 2 additional options. One for 120 frames a second, or one for improved graphics for 4K resolution. I mean, for fuck's sake. Nioh and Nioh 2 have always had, for some reason, their graphical options have always been way ahead of everybody else, of most other games on these consoles. I don't know how they do it, because their games look and run brilliantly. And now they're on next gen. Again, they've leapfrogged everybody. I mean, 120 frames a second, can the human eye even see that? I actually don't know. How are they always light years of everybody else? It's weird. Must be something to do with their game engine. So yeah, that's it for this video. Don't get used to these news reports. I tend to only report bits that interest me. It's usually corporate skull fucking doggery that I pay attention to, but every so often something catches my eye. So yeah, like, dislike, comment, subscribe and share, all that jazz. See you next time.